I got a big topic I want to discuss with you guys here on Warriors Today by Chat Sports. You got Allie Barefoot here, and there are some reports out there saying the Warriors are expected to explore an Andrew Wiggins trade. Unfortunately, I think a lot of Dub Nation fans knew this trade was coming. Mike Dunleavy, Joe Lacob, and Steve Kerr have also said they're expecting to make numerous changes in the offseason. They're just not exactly sure what it is. Well, I got a good idea, and I think that does involve Andrew Wiggins. So, before we get started and I give you all the facts and figures, I do want to ask you guys one simple favor here. If an Andrew Wiggins trade does happen, we're going to have you covered. All you guys have to do is hit that sub button, not just Andrew Wiggins, but everything that's going to happen in this Warriors offseason, which I think it's going to be a big one. Like Kevin Durant coming to the Bay Area, big offseason. I don't want you guys to miss anything. Hit that sub button for me. Andrew Wiggins finally spoke out on the 2023-24 regular season that the Warriors had, and he just came out and said he just wasn't happy with what he did this year for the Warriors. Not to mention, the Warriors weren't really happy with Andrew Wiggins either. Reports came out that they were very upset that he came to the training camp out of shape. He also took another sabbatical, and he kind of underperformed by hitting career lows this season, so we all kind of knew this conversation was coming. Andrew Wiggins told the media, he said, "My season was not good. I feel like I started picking it up during the second half of the season," which he really did, but the first half wasn't too good. When you look at what he did the entire season, averaged about 13.1 points per game, a career low, coming off of one of his greatest seasons last year and the year before that. 45% from the field, another career low. 35% from the three-point line, and 4.5 rebounds per game. Andrew Wiggins obviously did not perform the way that we had seen him when he won an All-Star nod, when he helped the Warriors beat the Celtics in the finals. This just wasn't the Wiggins that I know a lot of fans wanted to see, especially when he was being paid upwards of $23 million last year. Now, next year, he'll be making 26, then 28, then 30. Obviously, last season was the first year on his well-deserved 4-year contract extension, which when he was offered that extension, I'm like, this is a bargain. This guy is going to be phenomenal for the Warriors. And then it just went downhill, and I wasn't really expecting that 4-year contract to look like this. But now being in their first year, Andrew Wiggins had something to say about the trade rumors coming in with still 3 years left on his contract. He said, "I take care of what I can take care of. It's out of my control. I don't worry about it. All I can do is work hard, train hard, and do what I can do." Andrew Wiggins is a professional. He is. He plays in the National Basketball Association. Every single player in this league understands trades are not personal, they're just business. But the way that Andrew Wiggins played this season, I am a little bit concerned that if a trade does happen, they're going to have to attach somebody like a Brandin Podziemski, a Moses Moody, a Kevon Looney, to go with Andrew Wiggins to really up his stock. So, with that being said, my next question to you guys is, should the Warriors trade Andrew Wiggins? Comment why or why not. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to agree with me here on saying, yes, trade Andrew Wiggins, but tell me why you don't think the Warriors should keep him any longer. I'm going to go ahead and have a conversation back with you guys down below, but before that, I want you guys to check out Prize Picks for me. I've been playing it. Producer Chuck stepped in to record this video today. He's playing it, and here's why you guys should too. It's extremely easy. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on a player's projected stats. That is literally it. It takes less than 60 seconds for you to win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. But I only went with 2 here today because I'm only looking at one NBA play-in game that's been on my radar. I think the Bulls and the Heat match up perfectly, so I got Kobe White with more than 20.5 points. This man just dropped a 40-piece against the Hawks. And I got Jaime Jaquez, 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You can copy mine or make your own. Just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. They've got quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of player projected stat types. Go on ahead and pick more, pick less. It is that easy. Some top trade targets I would look at if I was the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to start it off hot by really addressing that secondary scoring need and looking at Dejounte Murray. The Atlanta Hawks did not have a very good season either. They lost in the first round of the NBA play-in tournament, a lot like another team that we know. Dejounte Murray trade rumors have been boiling since before the last regular season. He and Trae Young just aren't working that well, and that's okay. But I do think he's still a very lethal option to add next to Steph Curry. Murray will make $24.8 million next season, which is pitch perfect right next to Andrew Wiggins, who makes about $26 million next season as well. When you look at Dejounte Murray and what he did for the Hawks, who did not have the best season either, 23 points per game, 6.4 assists per game, which you're really going to make up for if you do decide not to sign back Chris Paul. 45% from the field, extremely accurate from downtown as well. I think Dejounte Murray is a young guy that's got a lot of talent that can really help out Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Not to mention he has played with Curry already in the NBA All-Star game. I think Murray would be the real deal. But here's what a trade would look like to get somebody like Dejounte Murray in the blue and gold. The Warriors would receive Dejounte Murray and Bruno Fernandop. That really does help your lack of a true big as well. It's not Clint Capella, but Bruno Fernandop is not a bad center. And the Hawks would receive Andrew Wiggins, and unfortunately I had to pair in there Brandin Podziemski. Like I said, guys, I don't want to give up any of the young guys who have a lot of talent for the Warriors, but a lot of teams are not going to take Andrew Wiggins alone. So you're going to have to pair him with another player. You might have to give up a little to get a lot. So my next question to you guys is, which Warrior would you include in a trade with Andrew Wiggins? It could be, unfortunately, somebody like Moses Moody, Brandin Podziemski. More realistically, it could be somebody like Jonathan Kuminga as well. So go ahead and comment down below. The next player I'm looking at, who I've been looking at, is Jarrett Allen. You want a true big? Jarrett Allen is your man. He led the Cleveland Cavaliers in the paint to the third or fourth seed in the NBA Eastern Conference. I've seen him clean the glass religiously. And the good news is, the reason why the Cavs would more than likely be willing to trade somebody like Jarrett Allen is because they really don't need Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley on the same team together. And I do personally think the Cavs would probably take Mobley over Jarrett Allen, which is a little weird to me. 16.5 points per game coming from the big man down low. Nearly 11 boards a game. 1.1 blocks per game and 63% from the field. The man does not miss. Not to mention he played 77 games. You're getting a big that is going to produce for you every single night. That would be huge for the Warriors, who had to make numerous roster adjustments because of suspensions, injuries, and sabbaticals. You want a reliable player. So here's what a trade would include. No other players other than Andrew Wiggins, but I'm going to give up a 2025 first-round pick, maybe even a 2026 second-round pick, depending on what the Cavs would want. You'd get Jarrett Allen and Dean Wade. Another power forward that could help as an impactful wing, as he does know how to score the rock numerous times from downtown, which I do think could also pair well with Steph Curry. The third player who I've been looking at for a while here on Warriors Today by Chat Sports is Kyle Kuzma. We all know the Warriors and the Wizards tend to make a lot of trades, hence why Jordan Poole is now playing on the East Coast. I think Kyle Kuzma would fit the big category as well as your impactful wing. If you get a power forward like Kyle Kuzma, he was rumored to move to Dallas in February by that trade deadline, but he ended up sticking with the Washington Wizards just for a little bit longer, but who's to say that's not forever. Kuzma, who averaged 22.2 points per game, nearly 7 boards, 46% from the field, 33% from the three-point line. I mean, he's obviously a bigger guy. He's not going to shoot the rock like Klay Thompson and Curry will, but it's good to know that he at least does make somewhat of his three-pointers. But I'm looking at him more as a down low in the paint kind of guy for the Warriors anyway. Here's what a trade would look like to obtain somebody like Kyle Kuzma. You would get Kuzma and Butler, who I think Butler is a really good up-and-coming player, 23 years old only, so you would still be adding on to the younger guys as well, but you might have to give up another player, like I said, a Moses Moody and an Andrew Wiggins. The Wizards were second to last in the Eastern Conference. They're probably not just going to take somebody like Wiggins, but obviously they have Jordan Poole down there. They've got a former Warrior on that roster as well. I think Moody and Wiggins could also pair up really well with Tyus Jones and make a pretty good team of Corey Kispert and Daniel Gafford as well. So here are my trade ideas that I have cooked up with the Wizards, with the Cavaliers, and with the Atlanta Hawks. Which NBA player would you trade Andrew Wiggins for? There are several players out there that are going to be on the NBA trade chopping block this offseason. Type one of those names down below. It could be somebody I already mentioned or somebody I haven't. And while you guys are at it, hit that sub button for me on Warriors Today by Chat Sports. If anything happens with Andrew Wiggins or anything about the Bay Area team, you know I got you covered. Subscribe for me.